All right guys, today we are here to finally unbox the Altis Sigma MX model. We have a nice day here in Colorado. We're gonna go ahead and unbox this thing. They just dropped it off. We did purchase from HyperRides. I paid $5,700 to my door for this bike. If you guys want, go ahead, check it out. They should be linked below. They have tons of different E-Motos, e-bikes. We are gonna try to put this side to side with a handful of other bikes. Let me know what you guys think the next bike we should get. I'm looking at the E-Ride Mini right now for the wife. I come from riding Honda 450, my KTM Supermoto 690. We have my buddy's Talaria Triple X. I come from the Razors. If you guys know me, I'm known as Razor Crew Cole on other social media platforms and here. But we do tons of Razor builds and electric DIY stuff. So this bike is the first out of the box bike that's electric that I think is truly worth the money. So we'll see if I'm right. I think either way I'm gonna be super happy with it. Something to note is we are not gonna see the full performance of this bike until summertime comes. Altis does say that this bike is gonna basically reduce power by 20% every 40 degrees below like 70 degrees roughly. So it's like 35 to 40 degrees today maybe. So if I do ride it, we're not gonna see the full potential. So I do wanna mention, you know, through the years, I started off riding these bikes a ton, and as we kind of grew into electric and being able to just kind of turn the key, buzz around town, not really bother as many neighbors, the gas bikes have slowly been kind of falling off and I don't use them. I actually sold my Honda Grom for this because I hadn't started it in a few years. This bike is IP67 waterproof. So supposedly, you know, it should be able to take the water very well. I know I did a video on the E-Ride Pro SS that my brother has. That thing did great in the water. He leaves it in the rain all the time. We, you know, have videos showing it. So this bike should do the same, and that's kind of the reason I moved to one of these platforms rather than doing a DIY build. So without further ado, I think let's go ahead and get into this thing. I have been waiting all my life for this. So I'm curious, if you guys were to get an Altis Sigma, or if you did, what model and what color did you guys pick? I think I'm gonna be really happy with the black. I do think the red looks amazing, but I think I'll want graphics on this eventually, and it probably won't be red. All right, so I've kind of just bent these tabs up and then kind of prying under here to go ahead and pop that out there. All right, here we are. Now I'm sure everyone's heard that we need to put some Loctite in this, so we do have some Loctite. We'll go ahead and get into that later. I mean, this thing looks beefy. All right, I do want to just say, obviously I am impressed with the packaging. Like, I mean, it's a little beat up, but honestly, when you get them in cardboard boxes, like if you're not familiar, they are destroyed. Woo! Let's go. All right, guys, the Altis Sigma MX model. And the MX model is referring to this big, meaty rear tire with a 16-inch rim. So it's gonna be more of a dirt bike style. So at this point, I'm gonna basically try to get to the battery because I wanna start charging that thing because we can now get to the charger. Oh, I know, it looks like a dirt bike, bro. All right, so at this point, we wanna make sure that we're not like ripping this open and yanking it around. If we have any bolts that rattle loose through the full shipping from China to the US to your house, they're gonna be in this right now. So we're gonna try to keep it in one spot. We've seen other YouTubers talk about they're finding the bolts in the bottom they need. So just beware if you're not already aware. I gotta say, this thing looks amazing. I'm like overly hyped and excited right now. Guys, look at this big charger. We'll get you up close and compare it to like a Suron or Talaria charger, but that thing is beefy. I love this handle on it. Honestly, it is super convenient. Let's come see what Jans thinks of it. Yeah, it's got a gearbox.
Add oil into it and stuff?
Yep, gearbox.
Here, there's your oil check.
Yep.
Put oil in it, you have to do that.
Oil in it, you're supposed to change it for 600 miles, and then after that 5,000 is what they say. All right, so we all know from watching our videos of the other guys that our keys are in here. So we want to get to our keys. Should be in one of these bags here. I do like the quality of this box. Like from the sim rig community, we look at like Fanatec, and they have like what I consider presentation when you're opening their box. And to me, presentation is a really cool, good thing. Makes you feel like you're taken care of. So with EMF, I kind of try to do that. We have stickers on our box, try to make it fun for customers when we get it. But I think they've done a really good job of actually giving us a good final product to the door. All right, what I don't agree with is the whole, like, we got different keys and we got race keys and stuff. So I would rather personally have like one key that turns it on, plugs it in, goes in here, locks our keys. That's what makes sense to me, but I know it's a new age. I'm sure I'll get over it. So we're gonna click that button. We'll pop that. Looks like it was already popped. And we'll pop that bad boy up there. There she is. All right, so I'm gonna pull this battery out and charge it. It looks like it's at a few bars, so another tip, like we talked about, this battery does like to be warm and has a lot of safety in it. Oh my gosh, that's a snug fit. Oh my gosh. Ah, gotcha. Yep, and there we can see is one bolt rattled loose. Next box. This is what we're after. So for now, I'm just gonna move to these bar risers. Oh yeah, you can feel that those wires are tight on there, the way they did that. All right, at this point, I'm gonna just kind of try to see if I can get this free, like a tip, I think, from one of the videos I saw, I forget who, and see if we can loosen that up, maybe. All right, like we mentioned, we are gonna make sure we're not missing any bolts through this. Thanks to everyone who put content out right away, warning us about some of these things. All right, guys, so I am gonna use some blue Loctite. I actually forgot to get it out earlier, so we'll probably do a few things I forgot to put it on. But yeah, stuff like this I don't want to get loose. While we're down here, we're gonna check some of these other bolts. All right, so I was fighting the kickstand. I didn't actually get on film because I was like failing, but then it worked good. Kind of tucked this in the right way, pivoted it so it slid up, and then carefully put that on. Now I'm gonna recommend probably like put safety glasses on almost or something, but that's how I did mine. They're almost like wrapped around each other to where it's like cradling it. So seems to be good. All right, so we take this little bolt out of our axle. I just kind of put it on there and gave just a little touch of a push, and we slip out. So we're gonna clean this off good, and then we are gonna go ahead and grease this up. Thanks to my neighbor, lent me a little grease to lube her up. Get in there and lube this guy up. All right, so pretty obvious those fit in there. Make sure that's sliding through good. There we go. Good way to kind of line these forks just to start is just kind of move this around, and the circle will kind of align itself in there as well to where these set to. But we will set our front brake up too to grab that rotor. Not gonna go crazy on that. We saw Dan snap that. Oh my God, I did it. God damn, dude, right as I said it. All right, guys. So I did just kind of wrap that around on there. I have heard, I think that you can like run this upside down potentially. I'm going to try it up top though. I think that looks pretty clean. It looks like you have it rolled up over that or back. So I'm tall, so I want it back in there. Got these little rubber gaskets in there, which is a nice touch, probably to help the vibration. All right, so we got everything pretty much put together here. We're like basically ready to go. I'm gonna open this up and slip the battery in. We'll kind of start plugging everything in and try to actually get it up and running. All right, so I believe we need to push this power button on first. Oh my gosh, just like that. Looks like our lights work. Horn works. We have eco, normal, sport, and race mode is locked because we haven't turned it on with the special race mode key. With that easy, it's on. All right, so we are gonna hold our little M button with the plus, minus, and M. We're gonna hold that, and we're gonna go right into all these different settings. So I'm gonna just kind of go through some main ones. I see right here it says 19-inch for the wheel, so we want to hit the M on that, and we are gonna change that to the 16-inch. I believe someone said to turn this down to a 7.2. I don't really like the password. I think I'm going to set my throttle mode to weak. I don't want it to be super aggressive. We'll see later. Torque 100%. Kickstand sensor I do want on. Tilt sensor. Now the brake sensor, if you're into wheelies, this is one that is awesome. We can just shut off right here. So we're going to turn that off. Brake power off. All right, so we have race mode off. This is the important one here. We're gonna go ahead and click through the passwords. I'm gonna leave the password 0 so it's easy. We are gonna turn race mode on. You're gonna have to agree to this, and now we should be race mode on. All right, so display settings. We can get into, there's daytime, nighttime, brightness. All right, we come down to Bluetooth. We are gonna click Bluetooth and we'll get this QR scanner. All right, so in the owner's manual here on page 9, we have this little scanner. So we are gonna scan that with our phone here, and we'll go ahead and get that to come up. We can see this app comes up to download, so we're gonna download that. All right, so we are gonna just use this installer. Yes, we want to install the app. Open. All right, so it looks like we'll have to do a login. All right, so we are going to go ahead. We put all that information in. We verified our email. We're going to allow this to do whatever, and now we are into scan. So we'll be able to scan. All right, and there we get the binding. The code is 880000. We're gonna go ahead and put that bicycle app to allow, so supposedly it should show our phone calls coming up. And we have a new update, so we are gonna do this update here. And we'll see the screen go to this update screen here. All right, so we can see we're updating here. This thing's going to update there. So we'll just let it do its thing here. We're gonna hit the gear button, eco to normal, to sport, to race mode. So that's pretty cool how that does do that, and then it goes back down. Park is a cool feature. You have to hit park to park and unpark it. You can also use the brake. It does come with a basic toolkit. Our 2 keys, both of these keys work in the back and in the steering lock. Our race key and our regular key. I like the certificate of approval saying it's all been checked, and I do like this Altis book. It has some good extra information we're going to go over in the next video probably, but there's good stuff in there too. I like that. So a few things that we don't want to miss is there has been kind of an issue with this zip tie being too tight on the wires. So Altis is recommending that you kind of unsnap this zip tie from in the frame. All right, so just to be clear, this is a little plug, and then that goes through there, but we just kind of wanted to get that out and let that kind of be more free because it was just a little too tight. Now I would assume on the models moving forward, you won't have to deal with that, but this is one of the very first ones out, so you know, just something we have to do. So another cool feature is that they have the DirtBike lock on here for the steering column. And that locks the wheel, so it's basically stuck turned, and you know, it'd be harder to steal hopefully. It is cool. I mean, obviously you'd have to have both of these keys with you for it to work, but both keys do work for this and the rear, so you know, that's kind of cool. All right, our functions with this all the way down is just the little running light on the front, no tail light. When we click this in, it turns on our tail light and the medium light. And then we have our high beam up there that just puts it in high beam. I wish the light was brighter. I can't tell how it's going to look at night, but I really kind of like the whole look and setup. We have our park switch over here. We have these buttons here I'll probably move. I just kind of locked them down. I don't know where I want them. This does give our regen from 0 to 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if you're riding it and then you sat still without touching the throttle for like, I don't know if it's a minute or so, a little bit, you'll hear it beep and it basically puts it back in park for you, which I think is a great feature. Same with the kickstand tilt sensor. With these bikes, if you're coming from dirt bikes, you don't know if the bike's on or not because it doesn't make a sound like a dirt bike. And we've had people just launch bikes all over. So these are great safety features. I love that. Park's great. So if you've left your bike sitting for more than 8 days and you go to use your NFC card here and it doesn't turn it on, it's because they have another safety feature putting the battery into a deeper sleep after 8 days to save battery life. So the easy way to wake this up is just hit the M plus or minus button on that little display button, and then your NFC should pop right on. Now, if it's been like a month and you haven't been on the bike, hopefully you stored it from 40 to 60%. And have it in the good conditions, but either way you're going to notice that trick might not even work as well, so you're going to have to pop the seat and hit the power button underneath to basically wake that back up. So, and then if it's still not registering, you have to hit those buttons and then the NFC should work. So again, it's a lot of safety features in this battery I think are a great thing. I think it's really good to see that they're trying to protect the longevity of the battery life for us. I think we should have the option if we want to just say we'll damage the battery, whatever, give me all the power whenever, instead of have all these safety cutoffs. But it's super good to have them if you're going to have the bike forever and want to take care of it. It's a super good option. I noticed on the app that there's like, we can turn the bike off. I think it'd be really nice if we could rely on turning it on so that we can turn the bike on and off from the phone reliably. That would be pretty killer. So I'm just not really into the whole I have to reach in my pocket to turn the bike off when I get somewhere, turn it on. It all seems weird to me. I also wish we had like a timeout sense, so if I didn't touch the bike for 5 minutes, the bike just fully shut down and that was it, you know. So I think that'd be pretty cool as well. So because I snapped the axle bolt like a dingus, obviously I haven't got to actually ride it yet. I am like just in love with the look of it and everything. Dan did a video on where to find that nut, so if I can't find the right one, I'll probably do what he did. But yeah, I mean, this thing looks freaking phenomenal. I absolutely love it, and I'm really excited to get on it. But it's snowing out right now, so I can't ride even if I had the axle. We're gonna go snowboard. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and we're gonna have a lot more content coming on this thing soon. So stay tuned, subscribe if you guys enjoyed. Likes are appreciated. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.